Yes, everyone, it's that time. Thank you for stopping by my little sliver of the internet. Today we are looking at an independent mockumentary, and this one is called YouthMin, a mockumentary. It is brought to us by Ariella Semino and Jeff Ryan. And Jeff Ryan also stars as Pastor D, David Bauer, who's the leader of a youth ministry. He's the pastor of it, and he chooses a number of the students that are in his youth ministry to go with him to camp. And while at camp, while they get in touch with nature and in touch with their beliefs and sharing those beliefs with others who believe the same as them, there's also a competition. And it's supposed to be a friendly competition, but David makes it not necessarily so friendly, as he really, really wants to win finally. He hasn't yet, and we see how he struggles with the kids that he brought with him, as they are just trying to enjoy camp, and he is trying to make it so much more and going about it in the most clumsy way possible. And all of it captured through a realistic documentary style approach. And it does. I was very impressed by how they captured this documentary style. Some, especially the indie ones, it always feels just a little bit forced. And you're just like, oh, okay. But here, this really felt like a straight documentary. If it wasn't for some of the over-exaggerated situations and the comedic moments in here that are just a little bit over the edge of reality, you would think this is a real documentary following this very inept pastor. Don't get me wrong, David is in the right place, but Jeff Ryan plays this guy that, he has the heart, but at the same time has no clue into how to go about to actually connect with these kids or do his job properly. He thinks he does. He thinks he knows. He's very confident in what he doesn't, what he knows, even though what he knows may be wrong or his approaches may be wrong. So I loved how he played this character, a sympathetic character, but also one that's going to make you cringe and go, dude, no, you're wow, just wow. And a lot of the characters, feel the same way about Pastor D. Now, with it being a mockumentary, you don't have a lot of special effects, and this is completely character driven. So you need characters who are interesting and performers who can pull it off, and they have that here with this group of individuals that go with Pastor D to the camp. We've got Grace Ulrich, playing Hannah, who's part of a budding couple who, they're youth ministry, so they're trying to keep things on the straight and narrow and pure, but you can tell there's definitely attraction there between her and Mark, played by Will Martin, who's also that guy. He's a big David supporter, but even David tests his patience and his emotions at certain times while at camp. And I loved how he was played. Will Martin and Grace Ulrich really play off each other well, and you feel for them, and you're kind of like, yeah, I want them to be a couple, right? And then we get Gina Santiago here. There is Deb. She's probably my favorite character. There's this wonderful moment where they're interviewing her, and David, you can overhear it. He kind of interjects, and yeah, she just plays it so well. And even her character, who seems to have a bit more, a sharp wit and a little bit more sass to her, still is not one that fully disrupts the group. And that's what I love the approach about this. All these characters, while they don't exactly like Pastor Dave and how he goes about things, nobody here is really like the saboteur or really just mean to anybody throughout most of this film, except maybe a bit disrespectful for Pastor Dave, which you don't quite mind here. Ruth, who's a very reserved one, played by Amelia Haas, I thought she did fantastic in here as the one that they're trying to teach. Yes, yeah. I mean, there's a wonderful moment where they're instructing her that yes, you can say something in church. Women have that right. I mean, so you can tell what type of family she kind of comes from, as far as they're very old school, and so she plays that well. Then Tori Hines in here as Rachel. She's definitely the counter to David, and you need a character like that in there. The balance to where she sees how things really are, and her situation as well is a bit complicated for the group that they have. You've got Thomas, played by Lucas Dredoff, Deirdroff, excuse me, who is wonderful as kind of the expert guy, and who David, is making kind of a wrong, assumption about. There's just so many wonderful characters in here. Taylor Jones's Derek is great in here, and Carl Schultz as Steven has a surprise moment near the end, and he's just, yeah, the chemistry between these all folks have to work in order to sell this mockumentary, and they do. And I even loved how it ended. It is not mean spirited. It is not necessarily it's not poking fun at religion. It's not. No, but it is poking fun at some of the characters that, you do sometimes run across in groups like this. So I recommend YouthMin if you're looking for a fun indie mockumentary with some interesting characters that it doesn't get too heavy, but is entertaining, especially for the performances. YouthMin is one to watch. So there you have it, folks. Please check out our Patreon if you haven't already, and also help us get to 2,500 subscribers or more by the end of the year. We can only do that with your help. I thank you so much, and until next time, remember, keep that ticket stub